Hey guys, it's Julian here. Welcome back to another episode as sober as fuck. Today we're going to talk about, is sobriety worth it? Because, you just recently got sober, or maybe you knew somebody that did, and people are saying to me that, a couple people anyway, that they're getting sober and they're still feeling like shit. Now, is it really worth it? So let's get into it a little bit. So doing some research on my own and all these through the questions, there's some things that I did learn before, about addiction and how the brain works and all that good stuff. And, so I had to, touch up on it or whatever. So I'm not a counselor, I'm not a scientist, anything like that. But there's a scientific explanation why. So you're going along with life, you got sober. That's a good thing. Congratulations, by the way, if you did. So you're going along with life, you get sober, and all of a sudden you feel worse. You feel like shit. You feel depressed. Maybe you have suicidal thoughts, maybe you don't. I didn't, but who knows? People are different. It's you gotta take things on a case-by-case basis, but you're depressed, you're not feeling good, you're not enjoying your other pleasures in life, you're fucking depressed as all fuck, you have anxiety, panic attacks, all of the above, and then you're sitting there. I get it. I totally get it. I could see that. And they're like, well, why the fuck did I get sober? I felt better when I was drinking and drugging, or both, or whatever the fuck the case is. So the simple explanation of what I found for that reason is dopamine. Now, if you don't know what dopamine is, you can find the exact definition of dopamine in the link below. I'm not a fucking scientist, as I said, so I'm just going to post it. But dopamine essentially is a chemical in your brain that does a lot of shit. So dopamine is like the feel-good. It sends like feel-good signals to your brain, right? So when you get high, your dopamine levels spike. When you have an adrenaline rush, your dopamine levels spike. When you have sex, your dopamine levels spike. That's that feel-good chemical, right? Keeps you on your toes, keeps you good, all that bullshit, whatever the fuck it does. Like I said, I'll put the link in the description below. So usually, I don't know how to explain it, like a graph or something. I'm fucking sitting in my car as usual, so anything you do in life is going to spike your dopamine if it sends a feel-good receptor. So if you're having sex, your dopamine levels are here and they spike to here. And if you're jerking off, same shit, whatever, God forbid, excuse me, whatever. But when you get high, your dopamine levels, I guess, spike out of fucking control, and they're really high. So your brain's always trying to, so when you get sober, your brain does restore that dopamine level back to normal on its own, but it depends on the person, how long the use has been, the longevity of it. It's all fucking variable, okay? So you got to talk to, give it some time, follow up with your doctors, go to your counselors, do your meetings, whatever the hell you got to do to get out of that funk, right? Because it's not going to last forever. It's really not going to last forever. It's just variable on time. So, it took me a few months, sure, to start enjoying normal pleasures in life or whatever. So dopamine, right? It just sends a fucking crazy signal spike when you're using drugs. Your dopamine goes through the roof or whatever, your feelings and all this bullshit. So when you get off of drugs and alcohol, my point is, you're not feeding your brain that same level of dopamine that you would if you're using, right? So you think sex is pretty high and that fucking feels good to you and all this because of the physical. No. When you get high or drunk or you're an alcoholic or whatever the case may be, the dopamine levels are significantly higher. I don't know exactly, but 100 times off the fucking chart. So when you're coming down, and you're not even coming down, why am I saying come down, but you're sober for a while and you're feeling depressed and all this, is because your brain is not hitting those same dopamine levels, right? And then your levels are drastically low compared to what they're usually being. So yes, you're going to be depressed. Yes, you're going to feel like shit. That is all normal, people. It's all normal. Nothing to be fucking ashamed of. No reason to go back out and use, and oh, my life was better before. How the fuck do you know life is going to be shitty now? Just because you're not getting high and all this, and that's what your normal was? Like your norm? That was my norm. That was a lot of people's norms. But, you could change things around and make it a new norm. Now, don't quote me, but scientifically proven too, you're not even sober for up to something stupid like 24 months after drug use or alcohol use or both or whatever it is. Up to 2 fucking years. It takes that long for your brain and all the chemicals in there, not just dopamine, whatever the fuck, whatever chemicals, it takes it, your neuroreceptors and all that, about almost 2 years. It could take up to 2 years to balance out, and it doesn't even start doing it properly, something like 6 months, 8 months, something like that, 8 months to 2 years, 6 months to 2 years. Don't quote me, like I said, look it up, find out your research for yourself, because I really don't know I know there's a guideline like that, but I don't know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, I mean, it's fucking crazy. But in the long run, I mean, if you do your research, you'll find out why you're feeling this way. You'll find out what's really going on, you know, and all that, instead of just throwing in the fucking towel and giving up, right? The best thing, one of the best qualities I think people can have, especially addicts, because they need it, is perseverance. The ability to overcome and adapt. Improvise. Do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? If somebody asks me, what do you do to get sober? Or what did you do to get sober? Literally, I swear to God, it sounds stupid, but nowadays, whatever it takes. Whatever it fucking takes. Yeah, if it takes me shaking in a corner and crying like a bitch for 10 years, 2 days, I don't care how long it takes. I'm not going to use. You know, it's a cliche saying. They say some stupid shit like addicts. I mean, not stupid addicts, but I'm saying they say stupid shit, that cliche sayings. But the longer I come around in sobriety, I'm starting to realize that these cliche sayings are so popular because they're fucking true, right? Like one of them is, my worst day sober is better than my best day drinking or being high or whatever the case may be. That's fucking true, okay? If you've been through all that pain and that suffering and that grit and that grinding, and I don't know if you're like me and you've running and scamming and hustling and dealing and drugging and all kinds of shit, that's fucking hard, especially when you're high and your blood pressure's up and you haven't slept in a few days. And you're out of shape, you know. I was in a little better shape. Well, I wasn't even better shape. I was skinnier. Why? Oh, fuck. I wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping. My body was eating its own fat and shit. Like, it's fucking nasty. It's so unhealthy. It's ridiculous. You know, so is sobriety worth it? Abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely. I'm not just saying it to convince myself. I'm telling you, sobriety is definitely worth it. In the beginning, first few months, no, I didn't know how to live. You know, and that's another thing. You got to put some structure in your fucking life. Okay, I know I'm going off the subject of dopamine, but we're done with fucking dopamine. I said I'll put the description below in the link. Read the definition, all that good shit. Do your research. It does get better, yes. Yes, it does. But, yeah, fuck. Lost my train of thought. That's why I should be writing shit down and reviewing properly, but that's not my style. I don't do it. I don't like it. I speak from the heart. I tell you how I feel. Like I said, basically, this is all my opinion anyway. You're gonna have to listen to my dumb ass, but I'm just trying to help. I'm trying to help where, you know, some people do try to help, but most of society is lacking. I believe strongly in pay it forward. I didn't get sober on my own. Many people helped me. I'm trying to help others. Like I said in my last video, there's an email you can shoot me at my email address if you need to. No problem. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys that. So have a good day, and I'll see you on the next one. See you later.